friend of Jeremy. 8 years na po kami
Hindi naman seryoso.
Hindi, seryoso to. As a friend, 8 years kami magkaibigan. I'm so proud of you, Jerm. Grabe talaga. I know na you've been working so hard. Not only you're starting out as a producer, you're exploring as a producer, singer-songwriter lang naman natin. Napaka-talented ni Jerm when it comes to that. So we are so happy for this milestone. Grabe, congratulations, Jeremy. And ito naman, again, friends from the media, this is all about you guys. So it's time for us to open our Q&A portion. Okay, let's start things off first. Syempre, with our friends from the media who would like to ask the questions to you. So, let's start things with Miss Jamie Ortega of Soundcheck Manila. Hi, Miss Jamie.
Hi, congrats! Thank you. The name of your album is ODD. Sorry, what is it? Addicted. Alright. So, I looked at your profile and I saw that you produce songs for a lot of other artists. So, can you share, is your creative process different when you produce songs for other artists, when you produce songs for yourself? Magkaiba ba mindset mo when it comes to that? Thank you.
Siguro po for me, I think the mindset, one thing is always the same, to create art and to have a great output. I think something different for my mindset for writing and producing for others is, I feel like I'm more free and I'm more driven to give the output that the artist wants, what they want. And if it's something that's out of my field, I'm always open to it. Kasi at the end of the day, I'm always learning din. Like when I produce for Rain and when I produce for Kolette, I learned a lot from them. Just like if they learned a lot from me, I feel like it's the same way. And ayun, and especially working on my album din. For me personally, if working on my own stuff, nerve-wracking siya kasi there's a lot on my shoulders. But in terms of working for others, I feel like I'm more free, more open to do whatever, especially whatever the artist wants. Thank you po so much.
I heard that you have a song called Why Me, which is about mental health. So, can you tell me more about that?
Ayun, ito na tayo sa Why Me. Itong song na Why Me, quick trivia, this song, I wrote it actually not expecting to sing it at all for my album. So I wrote this song thinking it was gonna be for another artist, and eventually I feel like it will be for another artist, but right now it's mine. Kasi pinarinig ko sa listening namin as we were doing this EP. And one big question in the room was, Jeremy, are you ready to give this to another artist, or do you want to sing it to for yourself? Kasi this song is one of my most vulnerable things that I've ever written. I felt like I was more authentic than I ever have been with my music. Kasi it was about me mentally going through stuff, especially during the pandemic. And this is the first time, totoo to, when I finished the track and I played it back for myself, this is the first time I teared up and I cried on my own music. So I think it just goes to show how much this song really means to me, how much it meant to me. And I'm so glad it's being well received din by yung mga listeners ko. So ayun, it really opened my eyes and showed me how vulnerable I can be without being scared of the reception. Yeah. Thank you po so much.
Thank you so much, Miss Jamie of Soundcheck Manila. And I also have a fun fact, actually. Why me? I think Jerm let me listen to it in one of our Star Pop campus tours, and then he made me listen to it. And I think I remember you told me specifically na usually you like to write songs na medyo hindi naman surface level experience, but this is the first time that you really dug deep, di ba? Within yourself. So, can you tell us siguro yung process of being able to be vulnerable with yourself after not being able to do that for so long?
Ayun nga, having that being my first time being that vulnerable, it took me a while. Most of the time when I write music, it's sometimes on a good day within hours, on a bad day it's within a day or two. This song actually took a couple weeks kasi I had to find the right words to put. I had to see what I actually wanted to say, and I feel like I said all of that, all the feeling, especially the second chorus. Especially the pre-chorus where it says, "Heavenly seconds may fill up my mind, but I still expect the worst. So I think that little line itself just shows you the stuff I was going through mentally, and it's kind of crazy for me to see Ayana na people actually relate to that din. There's times where yun nga, pinupuri din tayo sa mga ganaps natin, pero sa totoong buhay, we might still expect the worst kasi we don't want to set our expectations too high or else mas lalo tayo ma-disappoint, di ba? So just writing that line alone, I felt like it was a cool experience for me to see how people reacted to that. Thank you for that wonderful question.
Hindi, I feel like, meron guys, wait lang. May fun fact din ako bago tayo mag-move on sa next na media friend. I think you said also that you did not want to be the one to sing this, right? You wanted to give it to someone else. Tama, di ba?
Yeah, yun nga, like what I said earlier sa question na I didn't write it expecting it to be for me. I wrote it expecting it to be for another artist. Kasi whenever I write for other artists, I feel like that's where I'm more personal. Kasi there's songs where I write where I feel like maiiyak ako when I sing it myself. This is the first time where I got that vulnerable. I actually sang it the other day sa isang guesting. And yun nga, that's the first time where I was just standing still and I was closing my eyes and I was thinking about everything. Naging emotional din ako dun when I performed it. Yeah.
Congratulations, Jerm. Beautiful, beautiful piece. Okay, ngayon naman, we also have here from Business Mirror, Patrick Villanueva. Hello, Patrick.
Good evening and congrats for the album launch. So I only have two questions. First is, how did working with a lot of artists throughout your career help you become the artist that you are today?
Ayun nga, working with other artists, I feel like it built my musical sense and my musical capabilities. Kasi I released my album Late Night Madness, and after that, I'll be real here. I lost inspiration in trying to write for myself. Like I would try to write for myself, pero walang lumalabas, or I feel like it wasn't good enough. Pero I felt like when I was writing for other artists, Shania Gomez actually being one of them, it helped me develop that inspiration even more. It helped me develop the capabilities that I could do as a producer, songwriter did. So those collaborations, especially where I'm helping other artists start out their music career, I feel like it helps shape this, especially this EP, even more.
Next, last is, how would you define your music today? How does it personally relate?
I feel like I would define my music today as more authentic. Siyempre naging authentic din ako sa mga past kong projects, but I feel like this is the most where I've been vulnerable and where I've been the most carefree in terms of this is what I want to do, I'm sure. And if people like it, they like it. If people don't like it, I understand kasi we all have our different preferences, diba? So I feel like this version of myself is the most transparent I've ever been sa music ko personally. Thank you po.
Thank you so much, Patrick Villanueva or Business Mirror. Okay, we have more questions for us, Sherm. Okay, from One Music PH, Sir Chris is here. Okay. All right. Okay, now that you're also a behind-the-scenes songwriter and producer for other artists, how does the sensation of it compare to doing your own?
Ayun nga, na-mention ko kanina, the 2 to 3 year hiatus that I was going through after releasing an album and then eventually starting to write and produce for others, it showed me a different side of music, and I'm grateful for it kasi mas lalo ko na-appreciate yung behind the scenes, everyone that goes, the work that goes into releasing even a single. There's so much work that people don't really see, but what's crazy is during that hiatus, it was only me, my computer, the studio, and then the artist I was working with. And right now, releasing the songs for myself, it gives me a different sensation that oh, people actually appreciate the music and the art that I've been working on. So kahit kayo, thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for if you listen to it or you're going to listen to it, you guys are well appreciated. Thank you so much. And that's the different sensation I feel during those times.
Okay, to kind of rephrase the question, siguro, would you, mas may pressure ba to write and produce for yourself? Kasi syempre gusto mong galingan, it's for yourself. Or would you say mas may pressure to produce and write for other artists with the feeling na parang, ay shucks, kailangan gusto nila to? What would you say is more pressure?
I think it's more pressuring writing and producing for myself. Kasi, syempre, alongside producing, I also wrote and co-wrote the tracks. So kahit pa paano may vision na ako, and if along the way in producing, I feel like I haven't met that vision, then I start getting into my head. Whereas with a produce for other artists, parang I just help guide them on the way that they want to go. I don't wanna dictate where I think they should go. It's always guiding. So I think I feel the more pressure with my own stuff.
Nice. Okay, before we move on to Sir Chris's next question, of course, let's have some of our friend artists enter muna. Of course, Kolette Modelo in the house. Yes. Also, Jeremy has produced and written some songs for Kolette. Yes, you may enter as well. Ayun. Thank you guys for coming. Okay. So ito naman, another question from Sir Chris. Half of your EP, like what you mentioned, was co-produced and co-written by Darren Cashwell. So what do you say can they bring to your music?
So totoo lang, they helped me level it up even further than what I expected. And if you guys haven't listened to Darren Caswell's music, pakinggan nyo po talaga. Sobrang ganda, and I am just so glad that I had the chance to work with them and I had the chance to learn from them as well. And ayun, the process was very smooth, and I would love to collaborate with them again.
Which, by the way, guys, mamaya they will be playing, right? They will be taking the DJ set for tonight. Kaya, guys, watch out. Thank you so much, Sir Chris of One Music. Okay, ngayon naman, we have your questions from Vince Bernardo of Philippine Concerts. Okay, can you share with us what inspired the concept and title of Addicted? Is there a personal story or theme behind it?
Well, bukod sa yung title, yung key track namin dito is Addicted to You. We were trying to find a good title for this project, and someone brought it up. Why don't we just make it Addicted instead of just Addicted? And I felt like it fit very well kasi everyone has their different addictions when it comes to love. And sometimes it's way left field of what you would expect, diba? But it doesn't mean that it's wrong. So people can call you odd, but it doesn't mean that you're wrong in loving that certain thing and in loving a certain person, diba? So I feel like it was a great thing to encapsulate the whole EP about, kasi all of the songs talk about either loving someone or loving yourself.
Akala ko sasabihin kasi ni Germ, kaya ako natatawa ako. Akala ko sasabihin ni Germ, everyone is odd. Which is true, everyone is odd though, yeah. So, I accept. I want to be called odd, I am odd. But then, okay, next, another question from Sir Vince Bernardo is, of course, the track Parking Lot features Darren Cashwell and Chi Filomeno. How did these collaborations come about, and what was it like working with them sa Parking Lot?
Working with them sa parking lot. Sa parking lot mismo. And Parking Lot was actually the first song that I wrote with Darren and Cashwell. We wrote it at ABS-CBN Music Camp. We wrote it within an hour, 2 hours. That was one of the fastest songwriting sessions I've been a part of. Tapos, the idea of Chi came about during a meeting with Star Music, I believe, na kasi originally her part was supposed to be just me and Darren and Cashwell. But someone brought it up to elevate it even more. It should be a girl. Tapos naisip namin si Chi. And sakto, on that day, may ASAP taping kami. So lumapit ako. Kapag mukha ako, lumapit na ako agad. Lumapit na ako. Tapos sabi ko, Chi, do you wanna be a part of this? I played her the first intro. Nag-yes na siya agad. Wala pang boses na naririnig. Nag-yes na siya agad. And sakto, if you guys have seen the music video, sobrang bagay si Chi dun sa music video. So I'm so glad that it all came together very well.
Grabe, sobrang sexy ni Chi doon, di ba guys? Grabe talaga. But thank you so much, Vince Bernardo Philippine Concerts, for your questions. Of course, ngayon naman, we have one of our guest artists as well. Maven, are you here? Bumaba siya. Okay, you doesn't need to enter. Okay, next naman, from Jeffrey Perdon from Showbiz Online Portal. Of course, I think we already know the answer to this. Is there a track on Addicted that you feel most personally connected to? Would you say it's Why Me, or do you have another one to share?
I feel like it's Why Me, and I feel like it's spoken for. And if I were to say a different answer other than Why Me, it's still Why Me. Yeah.
Okay, ito na lang. What is something about Addicted that nobody knows yet and that you would like to share up close and personal to our friends from the media tonight?
Uy. Bigla akong ano. Okay. Bukod sa this is the first project that I fully had my hands on about. This is the first time na I was even considering releasing. Like all of my previous projects, sobrang confident po ako na I'm gonna release this. I feel like people would like this. This is the first project where I was unsure of myself. Kasi syempre taking that 2-3 year break from not releasing my own music and releasing and helping others release their own music, I started to gain that doubt na should I go back to releasing my own music, or will people still be open to listening to my voice? But then hearing all of the tracks, I feel like it was worth it for people to hear. Kaya yun nga, tinuloy ko.
And I'm so happy, diba guys? Good job to Germ. I'm so happy that he did push through with it. #1 na siya on iTunes and everyone is loving your songs. Different tastes for everyone, yes? Okay, ngayon naman, I think Ate Nika, you have some questions, kaso sinagot na. Would you happen to have another question that you'd like to ask Ate Nika?
Ako po ba? Hello. Hi po, hello. Congratulations, Jeremy. My question is, since nasagot na yung kanina, paano mo na-overcome yung pagkakaroon ng 2 to 3 years mo? I think na may time din na parang na mental block ka, na writer's block ka. How do you overcome it? And ano yung naging most talaga, yung top inspiration mo para maisulat tong Addicted?
Okay lang yan. And I think one of the biggest inspirations, yun nga, the people that I worked with along the way, the artists that I wrote for, to name a few, Miss Shasha, Miss Pops, Rain Selmar, Kai Montenola, Kolette Madelo, sino pa ba? Kimo, all of these artists I've written for, they instilled confidence in me na, you know what, Jeremy, the songs that you write shouldn't only be sung by other artists, they should be sung by you personally. And I feel like those words resonated with me. Siyempre, having personal doubts, but hearing it from artists like them, it kind of felt gratifying na, oh nga no, maybe my voice does need to be heard by people, especially with the music that I write for myself. So I feel like that helped me a lot, and I thank all the artists I worked with. Yung artists I named kanina, those are only the few, but to all of the artists that I've crossed paths with, thank you guys so much.
Meron ka bang like parang most difficult na song na di mo malilimutan na ginawa? Like, it's so hard to do or to create. And ano yun, and bakit?
Something
Difficult and
something
unforgettable.
difficult that I never thought I would write, gano'n. Hindi, bukod sa Why Me, let's give a different one. I think it's one that I wrote for Miss Shasha Padilla. This song is titled Never Be Alone. And it was not weird, but it was difficult for me kasi ang objective ni Ms. Z sa akin was to write about empty nesting, which is if you're a mother, it's about seeing your children leave the house and starting to have their own different lives, not under your roof anymore. So ako naman, being from the US and being close to my mom din, she was with me my first 5 years, I'd say, after the Voice Teens. Tapos nung umalis siya, parang doon ko hinuhugot yung message na pwedeng ikutin ng story sa song na yun. So I just put my position to where I felt like my mom would be. And then parang sinabi sa akin ni Miss Z nung narinig niya yung kanta, umiyak siya. And to hear that, parang samang sabihin na natuwa ako, but it felt good that the message got across na it had that big of effect because syempre it was hard for me to write that because I don't know how it feels for that. My only place of inspiration was what my mom would feel. But I'm glad that the message came across, and I'm glad Ms. Z loved it as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.